Nagam, you're muted.
Hello everyone, it's 5 on Jordan time. Ms. Farah, can you hear me?
Yes, dear.
Excellent. So hello everyone. Good evening everyone. Please allow me, says Nagam Amin, to welcome you all to the 4th Annual English Language Conference 2026, jointly organized by the Queen Rania Teacher Academy and Georgia State University. This year's conference theme, Inclusive English Teaching in a Changing World, reflects our shared commitment to creating learning environments where every student feels seen, valued, and empowered to succeed. Over the course of this conference, educators, researchers, and practitioners from around the world are coming together to exchange ideas, share experiences, and explore innovative approaches to English language teaching in today's rapidly evolving educational landscape. At QRTA, the mission has always centered on empowering educators and improving the quality of teaching and learning through professional development, collaboration, and innovation. Together with GSU, this partnership continues to build bridges between global expertise and local educational impact, making this conference an important platform for meaningful dialogue and professional growth. Before we begin, I would like to encourage everyone to actively participate in today's session. As you listen to the presentation, please feel free to prepare your questions and share them in the chat box throughout the session. We will have a Q&A segment at the end where the speaker will address as many of your questions and comments as possible. It's now my pleasure to introduce our speaker, Ms. Farah Shuqom, MYP English Teacher at Mashrek International School, Amman, Jordan. Ms. Farah is an English teacher with over 20 years of experience and currently teaching MYP Year 2. Farah believes in student-centered learning, differentiation, and UDL. She is passionate about creating engaging classrooms that meet students' needs and support diverse learners while building strong communication skills. Today, Ms. Farah will be speaking with us about rebooting the classroom where engagement begins. Please join me in giving a warm welcome to Ms. Farah Shuqom. Ms. Farah, the floor.
Thank you, Ms. Nagam, for your warm welcoming. Hello, everyone, and welcome. Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, depending on where you're joining from today. It's honestly amazing to know that we're all connected virtually from 22 different countries. That alone already shows the power of communication and learning beyond borders. As Ms. Nagam said, I've been an educator for almost 20 years. Throughout those years, one thing has become very clear to me and to you as well. Students around the world use English more than ever to communicate. But despite being capable of using the language, many students still feel disconnected inside the classroom. It's this is not because they hate English, no, but because sometimes English lessons feel repetitive, passive, or disconnected from real communication. And I think many of us as teachers, sorry? Okay. And many of us as teachers have felt like that in our classrooms. So today's workshop is not about adding more pressure to teachers, not at all. It's to have them be relaxed in their classrooms. It's about rebooting the English classrooms in realistic, practical ways to increase the engagement, participation, and meaningful learning. Okay, so today I need us all to reflect honestly on our classrooms, explore simple but powerful strategies, and leave with ideas we can immediately apply no matter what curriculum, age group, or country we teach in. And by the end of today's workshop, we'll explore how to make English classrooms more student-centered, the thing I believe in, and most of us, I believe we do, more inclusive and more communicative. Okay, here are the objectives to apply the strategies to shift from passive to student-centered, use UDL blended learning, and to include role play, project-based debate in our classrooms. We're gonna start with this. I'll drop the QR code. It says what happened most in our English classrooms. Before we talk about the solutions, we first need, honestly, to be honest with ourselves, because the meaningful changes starts when we recognize what really is happening in our classrooms, not the ideal version, but the real one. So I'd love you to, if you you're not using your phone, if you're using your phone, I'm gonna drop the QR code, and you can scan to answer this question. Okay, here you go. And I'll check it out here. Where? Okay. And oh, this is becoming really like it's enlarged. It should be here. Start. What happens most in your English classrooms? Could you please leave your answers here? Did you receive the QR code? Okay, distraction. Early finishers. Anything else? Actually, most of us okay, dropouts. Uh-huh. Okay, distraction. Actually, the big word in the middle, it represents your answers the most. Don't enjoy reading. Okay. Actually, it's interesting how many of us are experiencing the similar challenges despite different contexts, grade levels. Okay, let's move to the second question. What is your biggest challenge in the class? Based on those, we're gonna be discussing. Wait, give me a second. In the chat box, here you go. Okay, so what is your biggest challenge? Why it's not working? Okay, it is actually. And there you go. Mixed levels, large classes. Okay. Okay. Then let's move. Okay, why students disengage? What you shared shows a pattern. So let's look why students disengage. Usually, most classrooms don't fail because of the content. They fail because there is a lack of engagement. They usually are disengaged, and we can feel that. They are not disengaged because they are lazy. Very often, disengagement is a response to the learning environment, to the way they need to learn. When students spend most of the lessons listening instead of participating, so language becomes for them something really tiring. It's ugly. It's only to study, not something that they use. And language is meant to be used actually. So how do we move from disengagement to meaningful learning? Okay. Here you go, from traditional to rebooted classrooms. We all started teaching using the traditional classrooms, and till now, we are using it whenever it's effective, actually, when we need to give clear structure, direct instruction, and guidance. But today's learners, they need more interaction, more movement, more collaboration, and more ownership of learning because they live in a very fast-paced digital world shaped by smartphones, short videos, reels, and the very short communication, the instant communication. That's why the teacher-centered does not fully meet with their learning needs. And this would make them, their attention span very short, and they would make you feel really as if, teacher, please stop whatever you're doing. Okay. We're going to move to the first step in changing your classrooms to become like from changing from passive into active classroom. Teachers don't fix classrooms. Teachers design learning experiences. How do we do that? Based on the students' needs. So we need to look at what do they need? Our students, they are looking for relevant connections. They're looking for meaningful dialogue. They're looking for active participation, and they're looking for authentic challenges. And all of these, we can do them in very like tiny and simple changes, and we do not need to change the whole plan and lesson plans. The first strategy, actually, I'm going to be sharing 5 strategies. And I know most of us would use them in our classrooms. They are evident in a way or another, and some of them you might hear them for the first time. To increase the students' talk. Students do not become better speakers by listening to teachers speak English for 45 minutes, an hour. They improve by struggling, trying, negotiating meaning, making mistakes, and communicating. They learn language by using it. Actually, I'm going to share a little tiny story with you. When I started teaching at 20 years ago, my goal was that students, they need to talk. And whenever there's a visitor or their principal and so on, I used to give them lines and to memorize or to be proud of myself. Then one day, my principal called me and she said something I would never forget. She said, sometimes imperfect student English is more valuable than perfect teacher English because this would show their effort in learning the language and how they're applying it. And this would show our effort with them. Another strategy that I use in my class, differentiation. We all hear differentiation, differentiation, differentiation. But why differentiation? One of the biggest mistakes in education is assuming fairness means sameness. Students do not start from the same place, not even us as adults. Differentiation is not giving easier work. However, it's giving the accessible pathways to success. Differentiation is not making lessons easier. It's like chunking it down to meet all students' needs. For example, let's say we're writing a paragraph. For the beginners, we're going to provide them with fill in the blanks. And I'm like talking about like the age group, which is in the PYP, the early years. And for the intermediate, you can provide them with questions and where they have to answer them, then provide them with transitional words to form a paragraph. For the advanced, they can start writing from the beginning. Strategy number 3, the real communication. The students enjoy role plays, interviews, debates, problem-solved tasks, and gamification. Worksheets alone rarely create real language growth. However, communication does. Students remember what they do, not what they passively receive. Real engagement is not worksheets, it's communication. Okay, you know something? We're gonna get a little very tiny pause. We're gonna start an activity. Let's say that I ask students to write about traveling, and I want them to provide me with words. related to travel. Yet I don't want to provide them with a worksheet. Imagine that we are like, you're all participating now and you're all talking. I would like you to scan the QR code to write what comes to your mind when you hear the word travel. Okay. And this is not willing to move, mister. And there you go. Whatever word would come to your mind. Travel. Okay. Fun, beach, exploration, taking a trip, plane, luggage. Fun. Yeah, true. Okay. Adventure. Yeah, that's true. Vacation. Very nice. Road trip. Beach. Okay. So how did it feel? Imagine this in a classroom where the students are participating and they're talking. It's everybody spoke. It was fast, no worksheets and no explanation. A very tiny like twist in the classroom could save you time and could be very beneficial in the classroom. Okay. So before I move to my favorite parts, I would like to like wrap up what we said. Like engagement, it's not about staying busy. It's about thinking, taking ownership of their learning, the students. And so that would help them, like the learning for them is going to become meaningful and lasting. It's not the teacher like there like, explaining and they would take their notes and that's it. We end up with this. Okay. While I shared some strategies and while you use many strategies in all in our classrooms, two for me stand out for their ability to maximize the students' engagement, the UDL and the blended learning. Okay, what do you know about them? Blended learning and UDL. I'm gonna share this. Okay, there you go. Okay. Fast, creative, bold, but not that. If you don't know, you can say, I don't know. Nothing? Okay. Then I think my role over here to briefly talk about what is UDL, right? Okay. So basically, this is one of the most important mindset shifts from modern classrooms. When our principals first told us that we're going to apply UDL in our classrooms, I was like, Universal Design for Learning, this is going to be a burden on my shoulders and it's going to be really hard. I knew that's going to happen. However, when I started applying it, it is a lifesaver for the teachers, seriously. Instead of asking, how can students adapt to my teaching? How they're going to understand? We would start asking ourselves, how can learning be designed so more students can succeed from the beginning? UDL is not just about support. It completely changes how an English class works. Instead of expecting all students to learn the same way, we design the lesson so everyone can access it from the start, from the beginning. It reboots the English classroom by replacing one fixed path with multiple flexible pathways. You know something, this was not planned, but I'm going to share with you a lesson. Okay. Here now. Oh, okay. Unit introduction. My team and I sat and we were like, we want to introduce poetry literature for the first time for our students, grade 7 students. And we started thinking and like writing notes. So we came up with this lesson implemented within like the UDL was implemented. Students were expected to achieve the same learning outcome, but were given multiple ways to engage with the content and express their understanding. They explored different forms of poetry. Here you see, like group one, there is a video, there is a song, a lyric, lyrics from a song, a narrative poem, and a concrete poem where they worked and they presented their work using Canva posters, whatever other method that is good for them. This lesson was incorporated with the three UDL principles: the engagement through the choice and the collaboration, representation through text, visuals, music, video, and by the end of the day, the teachers, we did not stand there and explain the lesson. They did the whole job, the students, and they were fully engaged and they enjoyed it, we enjoyed it, and the burden that we used to think it's gonna be hard for us, no, it turned out that this is the easiest way to let the students be engaged. Another strategy is blended learning. Blended learning is how to use your time wisely in a classroom. We all know that we struggle with that. We don't have time, we need to end, this is the unit, and so on with the curriculum. So blended learning is often misunderstood as using more technology. However, it is about using classroom time differently and effectively. If students receive an input before the class, then classroom time can become more active, collaborative, and communicative. If we look at this, instead of you like talking for 45 minutes in a classroom, before the class, you provide the students with a text or a task, a short video, a question, so they would arrive prepared to the classroom. This would have them discuss. There will be like more speaking and interaction. Then after that, they're going to reflect. So over here, you would have extra time to work with your students. Everybody's going to be engaged. They're going to use English properly. They're going to work all together. Then they're going to reflect. And this would lead to deeper thinking and greater achievement for the students. So it's as here, the blended learning is learning beyond the lesson, not just technology. It's about how and when students learn. Okay. By those, like I don't have enough time to add more strategies, but these are the strategies that I really use in my classrooms, and these are like really effective. They would make the students all engaged. You won't be seeing students sitting doing nothing because they are all capable. You would make them feel all that you can. It's not about A and B and C who are the like high achievers. They're gonna feel that we are okay. We can do it. It's not about always the best students in the class. Okay. So after what I shared with you, what do you think good teaching is? I'll drop. Where is that? It's not here. Oh, I'm sorry. I don't have it here. If you can, like, scan the QR code, maybe I can. Okay, meet students' needs. Not this one. Okay. I'm sorry. Wait. I would like to share it, but start presentation. No, I don't know. I think there's a problem with my can you like please like can you like scan the QR code and tell me whether it's working or not? Because I'm receiving those a bit late. No? Miss Nagam? Can
We
you help
can
me
see a
out?
blank image. سواء.
Same here. I don't know why.
Yeah. Should use any of the other links? It's fine.
Anyways,
Yeah.
it's fine. It's fine. So to create a rebooted lesson, it's about the flexible design. It all starts from the beginning where whenever you're like preparing the lesson, you go there. So I would diagnose the problem, I would strip it down, I would check what are the things that I need to keep and what are the things that I need to remove. And to reboot it, use the students' talk, inquiry questions, real-world tasks, choice, role play, and the most important part, add one strong question, one speaking task. This would make all students engaged, and this would help you a lot in having the students get involved. So the design principles for the active learning start with the goals, build an interaction, vary activities, and check understanding. Okay, hopefully this is gonna work. As you know, we don't have enough time. What is one idea from today that you would try in your classroom this week? Here you go. So, you know something, I'm gonna do this. Blended learning, very nice. It helps the teacher to save time. They're gonna come prepared. Yeah, true. Uh-huh. Okay. Blended learning and on their curiosity. Yeah, it all starts from there. Their curiosity. Increase opportunity for more students to get to talk in English. Yes. This is what we're like aiming for. This is our goal. True. Uh-huh. Okay. Okay. I think Miss Nagam.
Mhm.
Okay.
What an
So
amazing reflection, Ms. Farah. That's amazing. Getting these takeaways is really amazing.
thank you, dear. Here you go. So you know something, you don't need to take all those strategies, whether 10 strategies. It's a very tiny uh, change that would make the whole lesson look different. Like you're gonna reshape it in a very simple like steps. Okay, questions
Mhm.
time? No?
Thank you. Thank you, Ms. Farah. Thank you, Ms. Farah, for such an insightful and engaging session. Your perspectives on engagement in classrooms have given us much to reflect on as we continue working toward more inclusive and effective English language teaching practices. I'm sure that many teachers and audience in your session learned a lot today. We will now move to the Q&A session. I would like to invite participants to continue posting their questions and comments in the chat box, and we will address as many of them as time allows. Please, let's look now at your questions. I'll go
Okay,
to
sure.
questions
Can
and
you share the
answers,
slides,
please.
Miss Nagam? How can they access the slides? Or
Mhm.
shall I like send it to them? By the way,
Yeah,
okay,
as you
can you
like.
send?
Yeah, as
Okay,
you like.
here's my
We can
email
see your messages, so you can post a link to the PowerPoint. That
to the,
would be
okay, sure,
amazing, Ms. Farah.
of course, I'll do that. Okay, use my,
So one of the questions, Ms. Farah, from one of the teachers, he's asking if I have to do one thing to
uh-huh,
change my classroom
uh-huh,
from passive to active classroom, what should
yes.
I do? One
What should I
thing.
do? First of all, get back to your lesson plan, whatever it is. I would like look for the where would I make like have my students engaged. For example, we're talking about adverbs, okay? How am I supposed to change it? I would have them work as a group and would say what is describing the verb. For the like, I would use differentiation within the same lesson. You know, for the students who are weak, they're going to be working on this task to, for example, to read with a teacher while the others would be working with by themselves because they're high achievers. You would give them, provide them with a very tiny explanation of what is adverbs So the high achievers would be underlining the answers, would be highlighting, while you will be with the other students. So this is, for example, good work.
Excellent. Thank you, Ms. Farah. One other question. One of the teachers says, you have mentioned that fairness doesn't mean starting from the same point. How can I apply this in my classroom?
Definitely, you're going to have students coming from different backgrounds, and especially with the language. So you need to know that I do not deliver the material the same way. I shared with you my lesson, right? So I made sure that some of those poems are very short, 2 lines. Some of them are longer. So I would make sure to know where my students are standing at the beginning of the year. From there, I would design my lessons to tackle every student's need to maximize their potential.
Excellent, thank you. And one last comment here. Ms. Amina says, use one effective strategy is better than a lot of strategies.
Of course, of course. But once you would look at the lesson before you start planning, you would see what goes perfectly within your lesson. What are you going to deliver? What are the students are going to reach by the end of the lesson?
Excellent. One more, please. I know that I asked many questions,
No,
but
it's fine,
because
dear.
a lot of engagement here. So last question from Miss Amina. She asks how to engage grade 9 female students online classes as they refuse to switch on the microphone.
Actually, this is something that we all faced in during COVID time. But you know what? In by changing the lesson to make it more engaged, because maybe they don't know what we're talking about. That's why you need to use blended learning. So they would be they coming to your class prepared. They know what's going on. And that would make them at least feel like I want to share something because I know it. And you have to have them answer specific questions to ensure that they watch the video or they read the article that you provided them with.
Thank you, thank you. Thank you, Ms. Farah, for this engaging
Thank you all for
session.
your
Thank
energy,
you for being
actually.
here, and for all audience. I would like to thank you for your active participation and thoughtful engagement throughout the session. We hope today's discussion inspires new ideas, meaningful conversations, and continued collaboration among educators and professionals in our field. On
Thank you,
behalf
Ms.
of
Nagam.
the
I would like to thank everybody for your energy, your honesty, and your willingness to reflect across different countries, systems, and classrooms. We share the same goal, helping students not only learn English, but actually experience it, use it, and enjoy it. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, thank you.
Thank you, Ms.
So,
Nagam.
thank you
Thank
so
you,
much. And
everybody.
on behalf of the Queen Rania Teacher Academy and Georgia State University, thank you for being part of the 4th Annual English Language Conference 2026. We look forward to seeing you in the next sessions, and we wish you a productive and inspiring conference experience. So thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.